All right, humans, I said I was going to go through a couple of Crowdcube decks and share what I, as a experienced but non-professional investor, would want to see in terms of traction from these companies for me to feel confident that they're doing well for the stage that they're at and at the amount of money that they're raising. Generally speaking, traction's quite straightforward for most investors, regardless of their category. What they're really looking for, if this is your very first fundraise and nothing really exists, they're looking for evidence of founder traction. What have you done in the past? How hard was it? Did you have stakeholders? Did you deliver on the promise of those stakeholders? And are you, as founders, capable of doing something really unusual and kind of impressive? That's like founder round. And then you get kind of into the seed stage, which includes pre-seed. Basically, pre-seed is when you know you're going to need to do 2 seed rounds, basically. It's not, hey, this is before my seed round. It's like, no, this is the smaller of the 2 seed rounds. But pre-seed is where you've got something in the hands of the people you're trying to affect, whether it's changing their behavior or you're trying to solve a problem. Whichever one, they're kind of the same thing, but through the lens of happiness versus through the lens of pain. But you're at seed stage or MVP stage, you basically want to see people who've used it and come back to use it again because it addresses the issue that they want addressed. And are they referring other people to come into it? Now, Series A is the product market fit stage. So have you truly understood the commercial value in what it is that you're making? And have you demonstrated that customers have paid more than once and telling other people who want the same commercial value to come and pay again? Those are the kind of the 3 core stages of traction. And of course, it looks different for each company. Like how are those presented is obviously part of the story you're trying to tell with your startup. But that is the fundamental. So let's have a look at some of these Crowdcube decks and see if they are showing the kinds of evidence that would get somebody, at least in my position, interested in investing. I've got about 3 or 4. I downloaded them about 30 minutes ago. This is the first one. So Dizzy, reusable grocery packaging. Now, I don't really know anything about this. I haven't looked at the deck. But it's obviously about, it's a way of reusing grocery packaging. You buy some cereal in a container. Instead of throwing the container away, I assume you send that container somewhere and it gets filled up with cereal again. It's basically Tupperware that you post, I'm assuming. Let's have a look. Oh, sounds like toddlers are... They'll be all right. So you purchase something, you return the empty packaging, they clean it, they finish it and relabel it, gets sent to a fulfillment center and purchased again. Okay, so to me, this sounds expensive. This sounds like a very expensive way to buy groceries. So a piece of traction I'd want to see in this circumstances is it cheaper? Because if it's not cheaper, at least compared to recycling, if it's not cheaper, I don't think this is a good solution to anything. It's interesting, but interesting is not the same as good. They're raising, how much are they raising? 600K, which means a seed round, which means that they've probably got a prototype. So I'm going to want to see the efficiency of that prototype. I'm going to want to see who's interested in using that prototype. I want to see LOIs from potential product manufacturers that might want to see this in the marketplace. It'll be brilliant to see some kind of supermarket be interested or some kind of Amazon to be interested. Essentially, at this point in time, I'm imagining it's a concept because they're raising 600K seed round. I want to see people of, so organizations of some kind of worth going, I'm going to give this a go and see what happens. That's the traction I would want to see in this deck. Let's see if they've got it. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. Okay, so they've got evidence here of things being used. They've got, looks like a really big warehouse. Lots of stuff going on. Our first operational reuse hub in Nuneaton is capable of fulfilling 20 million units a month. This doesn't sound like a seed round. Wait a second. Target 600K. Annual sales of 3 mil. This is a very misleading deck. I don't like this deck. This is what's called a top-up round, which means I am investing after they've done a VC round on terrible terms. That's basically what it means. Anyway, this isn't about, I'm not doing a cold read. Okay, evidence, I now want to see people using it. I want to see how many times things get returned, how many times things get lost, whether it's cheaper, all those kinds of things. 90% reuse rates achieved by making returns as convenient as putting out the bins. So you have to basically subscribe to Dizzy. So how many people do they have? It's a lot of revenue, but I don't know if that's revenue from their service or whether it's revenue passing through their system. So is it turnover, so the amount of money that flows through their system, including the value of the product inside the container, or is it just the value of the service they provide to whoever makes the rice or the banana chips? Or are they their own brand altogether? I don't know. Anyway, they've got 2 retailer partners. Okay, that's the traction I was hoping for. Return rates 91%. I assume that's the amount of time that things go around. 10% month-on-month growth. That's good if they've already at a really high number. If they're at a low number, 10% is obviously shit. Okay, I'm not going to review the deck, but they did show me the traction that I would be interested in. So I see these retail partners. It means people are interested. I would look more into this deck. So that's a fairly good one. All right, let's go to another one. I have absolutely no idea which company this is. Okay, a lithium-ion battery company targeting 300K at 7.5 mil pre-money. Good luck. And they obviously haven't raised very much. Doesn't matter. Let's have a look at their deck and see what kind of traction we'd be looking for. So there's something about Innovate UK. That's good. It means they've probably got a grant. Oh, so many words. Oh, don't think I'm going to do this one. Fuck it. Let's do it. All right. So Integral's power process enables manufacturing enhancing next-generation battery cathode materials to deliver low-cost, low-dense, high-capacity, and more sustainable lithium-ion batteries. Basically, a cheaper, more efficient way to make batteries. I'm assuming that's what this is. And they're saying it's a process, so they probably have a patent. I want to see a patent. Because this is we're talking about the Samsungs, the 3Ms, the Aeons, the whoever. There's so many people in this space. I want to see a patent for something that these people can do that other people can't do. So that's a piece of traction I will want to see. This is obviously a small round. I'm imagining it's also a top-up round. I fucking hate Crowdcube doing top-up rounds. Anyway, I'm assuming this is a seed or pre-seed round. So this is about being able to create the prototype as opposed to having the prototype. So I want to see a patent or something similar. I want to see founders who are just like on the money, amazing. And I want to see some kind of evidence that a big mover in the market that could be a customer or could be a significant partner with an LOI, like a letter of intent, like they have told this company that, yes, if you do this, we're involved. Let's see if we see any of that evidence. Oh, this is a horrible, horrible pitch deck. It's like, I'm losing my mind. Okay, cool. We make batteries. Your main focus is on active materials. So you essentially take refined materials and turn them into things capable of being inside batteries. I don't care. Routes to market. Okay, traction and partnerships. I don't know what this means. Funding organizations, collaborations with, trial demonstrator, early discussions. Okay, so they are talking to people like Mercedes, Ministry of Defense. They're in the Defense and Security Accelerator. I don't know if they're in or if it's discussions. And Innovate. So I want to know if these are LOIs. If they are, I'm interested. If they're not, I'm not. And super quick, McLaren P1 battery build and manufacturing. Interesting, reasonable background. Okay, if in the Q&A they could demonstrate that these were at LOI stage, I'd be interested. If they're not, that to me. There's a few examples, keeping this to 10 minutes, otherwise WhatsApp won't let me upload it. I hope that's helpful.